Hello Commanders, my name is Eric Terramellins, and as one of your favorite waifus, this purple, winged, beautiful angel from an epic video game, and despite her design being so gorgeous, she's not really the best, but it doesn't matter because you love her anyway. Well, if you said yes to all these things, you're clearly talking about Isabel from Nikke, where this figure is actually made by Otaku Toys. She's a 1/7 scaled figure. If you want to see her unboxing or check her out in other people's collections on the My Figure Collection page, be sure to check the links down in the description below. It's possible that I might spoil a couple things concerning the character here or there throughout the review. I'll try and save all that sort of spoiliness for my final thoughts at the end. Just know that Isabel will always be my goddess of victory. Godspeed. Her hexagonal base plate is transparent. Everything is a thick plastic pegged in very nicely with metal, where we have a decal along the top that kind of shows her initial illustration. With something like this, you can always insert a light underneath to give her a nice fun glow effect, and considering she has a couple of transparent appendages, it will definitely look good. Despite saying this, I do think that the base plate is a little bit bland, though I'll take it over a boring circular round nothing base any day. Her robotic foot stilettos are pegged into these massive black chunks, which is really a disappointment. This should have been clear, way to hide all the hard work that you put into designing and sculpting these shoes. It just gets hidden and lost within these chunks. But looking at her from straight on and on a shelf, it's not too bad, but this is a newer anime figure company on the scene, and considering the massively high price point they put her at, they should have absolutely made this a hard, clear plastic. We then have an extremely thick black metallic peg going up and into this clear plastic piece, where you then peg in the wings. They're a little bit loose. You can kind of move them ever so slightly. And the wings also have black pegs going into here. This wasn't particularly well executed. But when you look at her from a front view, it is well hidden. It's just at, again, her price point, she was very expensive to have this kind of cheaper and not clever design to plug everything in, especially considering these aren't that heavy. She's not that hefty. She doesn't need to have all the extra load-bearing, harder types of plastics and metals to hold her all together. I find the sculpt work for the wings extremely cool. I mean, if you're here watching this Isabel review, you probably like the wings too. It's unique and rare for a Nikke to have them, and the design that they went with here really throws off those Xenoblade 2 vibes. We get a nice gradient on the transparency of the wings with a honeycomb texture. Afterwards, all the mechanical parts that we see here are very cartoonish. I'd say they do a decent job at reflecting what we see in the original illustration. Get a couple of decals here and there showing off some robotic writing. Very well done highlighted gradients, where once we get to the top of the 3 appendages, there's this shield, and this thing is so well sculpted, and the paint job is very accurate to the initial illustration, or even the gradient highlight we get here is similar. This figure is extremely lacking in different types of finishes. She has matte all over her. She does have a couple of metallics here and there, but her main problem is there's no gloss. We do get this chainmail style robotic design finish here and there that is more reflective, but when you have an epic robot girl design that is full of all sorts of intricate little robotic details, it's nice to have certain plating here and there that comes off as being shinier, so it really sections off the different types of materials used when building her as a robot. And I understand that her initial artwork doesn't show off anything glossy because it's a drawing and it does come off as rather matte even in the illustration. So you could make the debate that, you know, they're just trying to go for that accuracy. But for real, when you're turning something from 2-dimensional into 3-dimensional, it makes sense that you would want to just change things up a little bit because now you're working with a very tactile medium. You want to have some glosses in there to really make parts of her stick out more than others. You need some good focal points. Like this, she kind of comes off as very bland. This doesn't change the fact that the sculpted paintwork on this figure, though, is immaculate. Both are wings of the same design, and they are similar on both sides as well, so you don't have to worry about which one goes where, facing what. Her feet look extremely nice, pointy, sharp, inhuman. We get a lovely lighter gradient down at the bottom as things go up and section off into multiple little tiny robot-style pieces. I love how we have little decals within the metallics of the joints for her ankles, and the level of hardcore work and accuracy that went into putting in these highlights a little everywhere is very nice. As we go up into her calves, we have this lovely metallic style design in the back that is one of the only reflective things you're going to see on her. We have some great carving and really solid bright yellows to give off that kind of glow effect, which contrasts really nicely to the darker shading of purple around them. Her knees look sharp and extremely well designed, while we see the back of them is the complete opposite. Very matte, flat, kind of looks like they're just sectioned off plastics plugged into the bottom parts of the legs. It's not perfectly inserted there. I personally give this a pass because it adds to the illusion of her roboticized legs. As we go up into her thighs, we get some callbacks of that nice reflective print. I keep bringing it up, but the highlighting on this thing is absolutely beautiful. It really feels like the person that was doing all the paint work put in the time at doing this, and it really comes off as a professional piece of artwork. And Isabel is absolutely a gorgeous piece of artwork. But what you can see and is actually pretty interesting about the side of her knee here is that if you like this video just a little bit, it doesn't cost much to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell. This way you'll be notified of my future videos. It goes a long way at helping support this channel. And comments. If you want to tell me everything that you love about Isabel, write so in the comment section down below. As we go up and get into her skin, everything is beveled really perfectly. Her skin has light shading around it as we slowly go towards her behind. It's bubbly, absolute perfection, and for anybody that's a big Isabel fan, you'll be very happy with this sculpt work. What you won't be happy with is, again, the way they designed these wings to go on all of this. Like, you're hiding so much of the hard work that was put into this, and what a lot of Nikke players really enjoy, considering that game's major focus is seeing the behind of characters while playing it. Personally, I would have had 2 thick, transparent pegs coming up, holding both wings separately like this, and then maybe 1 transparent piece going between the 2 if I wanted to solidify it. Why is this thing so big? It could have been half the size if they were going to go with metal. The black detailing we get for her bathing suit style bodysuit is nice, but this should have absolutely been in gloss. It would have given off more of a spandexy shell feeling around her. As it is, it's matte on top of matte, on top of matte, on top of matte, on top of matte. For any of you that have seen a lot of my figure reviews, you know that this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. The robotic plating we get on top of all of this, however, is beautiful and has really nice shading and highlights to it. As we go up into the cutout of her back, beautiful strong curve, but that works for a Genoid gal. We're a little higher from there. We have her belt shoulder strap design. The strap is well sculpted as it goes into this flailing down left arm mini side cape thingy. Sorry, I don't know the name of what this thing would be called. And we have a strap flowing out from the front. This whole floating cape thing is actually well carved, sculpted, and painted. Isn't just some cheap decal. Down near the bottom of this bathing suit design, she has a protective cod piece. And then we get that printed, somewhat reflective, textured design on her stomach. The shading here along with her navel is well defined, and it looks really nice with the rest of her body that has beveled out or sectioned off types of armor. Nice metallic silvers for the clips along the side of her body. Underneath her chest, we can see a small little cutout showcasing her skin, where her chest itself really does have a similar shaping to what we get in the artwork. We get a darker color with an even darker shading going all around it to help accentuate its shaping. Afterwards, we have the rest of her cape clip thingy with the piece going over her left chest, and this is all extremely well sculpted. And what I find kind of weird here is the tiny little black square piece that we have is done using a semi-gloss. Why didn't they use that in many other places? Her collarbone is very well defined, which I always love and appreciate. Going up into this beautiful little design around her neck, her shoulders are cute and well rounded, where her right robotic arm has excellent carving for the robotic features. Going into these hands that really look and feel like Evangelion hands. And I say this not only because the glove design is similar, but because it doesn't just feel like she has sausage fingers, which you actually get quite often. These are very well sculpted, and where I might knock off a few points for the fact that they actually sculpted in her nails despite this being a robot glove or hand. You don't see it in the main artwork, so you don't really know. And in this odd case, because she's a robot, her having fake carved in nails, with her personality, I could picture her wanting them. I could even picture her putting different types of nail polish on them every now and then. She may have been stuck with these prosthetics for the rest of her life, but that doesn't mean that she can't still have fun and accessorize. The left arm is similar to the right one, looks really good, and you can really feel the weight of her chest and her right elbow on it nicely. Her neck looks to be going inside of her bodysuit very well. She doesn't have a weird sectioned off line around her face. It was really sculpted with her neck. It's natural, beautiful. Her face is very well shaped. Though not 100% accurate to the game, I'd say it's pretty close. Her eyes are all done in a matte. Come on, Otaku Toys. It feels like you put a lot of effort into certain parts, and then at one point you hit a certain budget where you're like, okay, we're not going to go higher than that. But you're charging very premium pricing for this figure. I would have to compare her to characters like Prince Eugen. This is just... you really, really pushed it. And the only reason someone like... Save it for the end of the video, Eric. Where I find the illustration of her face comes off as more, oh, hey, Commander. I didn't see you there. And innocent. The sculpt work, along with the decals for the eyebrows and the eyes on the figure, really gives off a more, Commander, is that really you? Look to her with a bit more melancholy. But this is a little bit of a nitpick. They do a decent job at carving in all of those different strands to the point that you really do need to pay attention to see where they glued in certain parts here or there. We get some nice shading, a bit of highlights. And for real, if they were going to go on about how, oh, we didn't put any gloss and so because we wanted her to look more like the artwork, well, to that, I would say she needs some shine in that hair. It would have been great to have a bit of an anime sheen going around her. Right side of her head does have a strand of hair just glued in halfway like this. This is so ugly. I hate when anime figure companies do this, especially since had the sculptor just continued a deeper carving all the way to the center, you wouldn't even have noticed it as much. It would have looked fine. She then has these little robotic horns coming out of her head. In the image, these are a much lighter purple. They didn't put that much highlights on them here. We don't get any lighter yellow glow like in the actual artwork. And because that's very bland and doesn't pop out as nicely as it really should have. Upon her release, she was going for... Wait for it, because keep in mind, most of the time I do sell a lot of figures and other collectibles in order to keep getting them to keep this YouTube channel rolling. Plus, I just really like Isabel. She's such a great character in the game, and it sucks because not only was she really fun, I feel like she just always gets the short end of the stick. She's a pilgrim in the game. This means that she's supposed to be top tier, but she's so awful that you would debate she's probably the worst or one of the worst ones in the whole game. She's just really not good, and her kit doesn't work well for most of the things within the game at this point in time, and the game's been out long enough that if they were going to do something, they would have done it by now. They could have given her a favorite item, which I was kind of hoping they were going to, especially during Goddess Fall, or maybe after Goddess Fall. We all know that's not going to happen. They've got a gorgeous design here and a very loved character, and rather than trying to rework her a little bit, they decided to just kill her off, managed to get her to 3 stars right before making this video. I was pretty happy about it, and then at the same time, I'm like, well, at least I'll have her image in my lobby. And the way she went out was so heroic and epic, just... By the way, she's not a very good Weiss Wars card either, despite her artwork being completely gorgeous. Short end of the stick. At 28,500 yen, this figure is absolutely way too overpriced. Hopefully she'll end up binning, so some of you that really want her can get her for a decent, more realistic price point. Otaku Toys did justice to this figure when it comes to her sculpt work, and then when it came to the painting, I would say it was pretty well done too. It's just that they missed out on a couple of cues here and there, and the fact that we don't get any other kind of finishes is just really disappointing. Isabel deserved better. She deserves better. And it's just sad to see everything that was kind of around this character and how it all just sort of spiraled and fizzled into a big old nothing. And if you wanted to spend 1,000 extra yen, it came with this, which I honestly thought was going to be much bigger. Otaku Toys just banked on the fact that Isabel is an awesome character. They got lucky. They got the rights to be able to make a figure of her, and they just got lucky if anybody bought it from them, assuming they were going to come out with something equivalent to the price point they were asking. I got, and it happens every now and then with figure companies. They're not all hits. We get a couple of misses, but at her price point, that's a miss that really hurts the wallet. This in-depth review was pretty harsh, considering before I got into it, I was really positive and I really loved everything that I was seeing. But the more I really focused and paid attention to it, because when I make these videos, I'm going over everything for the first time with you in as much depth possible, it definitely changed my opinion and the way I see her. But I just love Isabel's design so much that... I'm such a sucker. I'm probably just gonna put her up and display next to a bunch of my Xenoblade figures, and that'll be that. But unfortunately, she's not gonna look as nice as the rest of them she's being surrounded by. Hopefully my review today helped you decide which side of the fence you are in getting her or not. Is Isabel your favorite character? Was your favorite character in Nikke? I do really like Nayuda. I'm also kind of a fan of Privity, Liberalio, Naga, Little Mermaid. You know what? I feel like I could be here for quite a while going on about all the different Nikkes that I love the character designs or the actual character writing to, so we're not gonna get into that today. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Alice, Scarlet Black Shadow, regular Scarlet, Maiden, Crown, Red Hood, Rappy, and I really like the Rappy Red Hood. Anissa Neon, obviously, they're so funny. All of Absolute since they got their rework, Milk, Noir, Blanc, Quincy, oh, and Delta, but in that ninja outfit. Oh my god.